Have you ever spent hours dreaming up the perfect homestead and then remembering that you got to build these blueprints from scratch and realizing, oh no, you missed something huge. Do we even want to build these? Well, I want to show you what we built and why we might have to do just that. Scrap it all. All right, guys, I want to start by talking through the process for us a little bit in getting to this point of the blueprints. So we started by buying some land last year. It was kind of, I don't know, not really out on the prairie, but just outside of the Black Hills of South Dakota. We're about a mile from the tree line. And so we bought the land and then created this plan set right here. And through some sequence of events, life happening, we have actually worked towards purchasing another piece of land that is actually in the Black Hills of South Dakota, up in the trees. And so we are now working towards purchasing that land and figuring out how we can build a house out on that land, whether or not we can build this blueprint, or if we're gonna have to completely redesign it, if we're gonna have to scrap this one and start over, or what our options are. I'm gonna walk through a little bit of that today. The important thing there in knowing all of that is that we had a lot of space to kind of draw the picture. We had an open canvas because of the first piece of land and the layout and topography of it. We had a lot of area. We had no restrictions on size of the foundation or any of that. And so we knew that we had a lot of room to build out. We didn't have restrictions of trees. The second piece of land has the restrictions of trees. It has the power lines. It has the rock and the hillside into it. And so that is making it a little bit challenging in trying to determine the next steps in working towards planning for the infrastructure or the site development there at the new land. Now at first, we really loved these blueprints, and we still do to some extent. We designed them from scratch. We used JL Barn Dominium artists out of Wyoming. Mary was her name, that we talked back and forth on the design of this and making the edits and working through that process. It was probably a month-and-a-half long process of us emailing back and forth. It started off with doing a rough sketch of what we wanted, and then kind of giving her the overall parameters of heights of floors, of roof pitches, a number of windows, sizes of windows, all that kind of fun stuff. And we kind of worked through email by email and her giving us her interpretation of what we were talking about with her each time and making changes and going through that process until we finally landed on what we have here today. And overall, it was an awesome process. Not to be a sponsor or anything for JL Barn Dominium, but it worked good. And it was really, I would say, really fair for the price that it cost to do these. I don't remember exactly, but I want to say it was between $1,000 and $1,500 to do these. And we probably could have gone with a higher end, or like somebody that would have cost a lot more. Not necessarily higher end, but definitely somebody that would spend more time and maybe asked us some other questions of design specific and architecture and some of that stuff. If we needed to build some more custom features on the home, or if we needed an engineer stamp for where we were building, because that's one thing that we did not get with these. So there's some pros and cons to going with cheaper or more cost affordable option, and we kind of weighed those back and forth and ultimately determined that this was going to work for us, and thus far it has. So let's get into what we have here, what our plans are at the moment, and what has changed. So this is just kind of the front elevation that we have, and we got some bigger pictures for you towards the back. We can actually start with those from the outside here. So we have the front of our house which we really focused on the house fitting us and our family and kind of how we wanted the layout. We started with all that, and then we added the shop on. And so all of this space here, we kind of improvised it with whatever was left that we wanted. Now, for me, part of my business is in building. I work in construction, and so we knew we were going to want our 2 garages for our home, and then I wanted a bay for some equipment and whatever to work on, and then we also have in the past, we've had a spray foam business, and we're looking at buying that out from a business partner. Not sure if that's going to happen yet. That was going to go under this bay. So we needed the height, actually, for this trailer that was going to go over in this bay, which raised the roof line here, and then the depth of it, down here, you can see the depth of the shop comes back here, whereas the depth of the house only comes to there from this point out front. So this thing here is this thing here, the little front porch overhang, and then the roof pitch, this difference here is the height from the front there. So that's kind of why that looks a little different up there. We kind of wanted this to all be one individual peak down the front, one gutter line, and we're kind of back and forth on that, and whether or not whether or not that was a good idea to keep it that way or whatnot. We went really basic overall for the house. We want it to be a square box, and the less corners we have, we know it's going to be quicker to build. It's going to be easier to keep it airtight and watertight. It's also going to be cheaper because time is money. And we didn't want to get too crazy. Our plan for this house was for it to be really a 3 to 8 year long option for us in our living arrangements, and we were planning on building like a dream home 5 to 10 years down the road. So that's kind of where we're at with this. We're okay with doing the more affordable options and not trying to completely blow the budget, although we might blow the budget. So we'll see what turns out there for that. Here's the back elevation, back of the shop here, and then the back porch over here. This door is the door from the back of the kitchen. So we're kind of just have a French door there. One door at the back of the shop, one door at the front of the shop, and nothing over here on the side is the plan at the moment. As you can see, not a lot of windows. Even in the shop, there's 2 windows off the back, nothing off the side. And really that was just to not have a bunch more windows, more cost. And we haven't decided yet exactly what the garage doors are going to look like on the front, but we're thinking about putting some in with some windows, whether that's going to be down the side or like a grid pattern. Either one of those. We like both those options. Not a huge fan of the ones that just go across the front here, as, I don't know, not that they're old style, but it would seem a little bit more industrial, I feel like, trying to go that route. So let's get into the house. First floor, we'll start here. We have a dining room over here, a playroom down here. Now for us, it was really important to have this big open space here, open concept. That's kind of the new thing, right? And we're building kind of a shop house here, so we know we can make all the spans and everything work out. But we wanted that big open space and kind of a clear path or clear vision from the entryway in. And so that's why we have the mudroom here that ties onto the shop and allows you to get into the great room that ties right back off of the porch. And then everything kind of just circles that. So this is the central space. So we have like the playroom for the kids right off of that, and a little corner office here in case we need it. Now, I do some office work and being in construction, just receipts and whatnot. And we also have some rental properties. And so I do some just office work type stuff for that, of getting new tenants, doing the taxes and all that fun stuff. But I'm not really sure how much we'll actually use the office. But it's in there just in case we do need it, or if my wife ends up wanting to teach college classes after we have our kids and whatnot, that's an option for her. Now, this pantry may look a little extreme. It may. Probably not for any of the women watching, but may look a little extreme for all the men watching. But vice versa, this area over here may look extreme for all the women watching, and it might not for all the guys watching. So that was our trade-off. She gets a big pantry, I get big shop. That's kind of where we went with that. Just a, what do they call that, a half bath there on the main floor, stairs up to the second floor. We chose to put all the bedrooms on the second floor. We're still young, not super worried about stairs yet. Like I said, our plan is to kind of move and upgrade into a forever home eventually. And then we did put the mechanical room out in the garage, as well as another bathroom slash we're gonna have like a shop utility sink here rather than like a vanity sink probably. So this mechanical space, being a builder, it's kind of really important to me to have adequate space in the mechanical room. So I did 7 by 11 there, which this can all be changed as we build if we decide to add more or need more. The main things are going to be somewhere in here. We're going to have a hot water heater. We're going to have an electrical panel. We're going to probably need room for some type of water filtration system, and we'll put something else probably in there. We'll have the space for all of the in-floor heat's probably gonna be underneath the hot water heater. The hot water tank will be hanging on the wall. That's our plan for all that. I think we're gonna put the ERV up in the attic, as well as anything we need for the mini splits. Now for the second floor, shop and everything is gonna be open. Well, because that's how the shops are, right? You don't have a second floor in there. None that I know of anyway. Up the stairs, we're gonna have this little area here, which we are gonna leave open to the entryway just down below. If you wanna see people coming in, people can holler up. If mom or dad are leaving, wanna say bye to the kids, and maybe they're up here messing around or whatever, they can just lean over the edge, wave, and all that fun stuff. Big laundry room for my wife. We have one kid right now, and we are almost through the foster licensing process to be able to foster children. That's gonna be here in the next month. And then we are also approved right now to adopt, and so we might adopt if the opportunity arises. So it's whatever the Lord brings us at this point. So we wanted a big laundry room for a big family, and we kind of set up the bedrooms, 2 single bedrooms, master over here. These 2 bedrooms, we're kind of planning on that being able to work for up to 3 or 4 kids. And we kind of laugh that here in about 1 month, right before we start building this, we might have 3 kids if we foster a set of siblings. So it's like, well, is this going to be enough? Or are we going to run out of room before we even get this thing built? So there's going to be some options for changing. I'm going to give you here in a little bit. But for now, 2 bedrooms, nothing fancy about that. Normal bathroom here with a tub and a storage area. We did try to make the master bedroom decent sized with the master bath, walk-in shower, master closet, all nice size. Being in construction, I kind of get a lot of stuff that I want normally. Tools, equipment, vehicles, trailers, all that fun stuff, because it's a write-off for work, right? So I get to justify some stuff like that, whereas I feel like my wife has been really frugal on a lot of things that a lot of wives would want to upgrade. And I would like to make this area really nice for her because I feel like she deserves that, and she's been really patient with just being frugal throughout the years. It's helped us get to this point to be able to even build this, and so want to build it from scratch and try to do it right from that sense. So that's kind of the upstairs, and that's kind of the basis for what we have designed. We really, and this is just all the slab, the foundation plan, but we really designed this thing to fit where we thought a year ago we would be in 3 to 5 years. And in the last year, so much has changed in our lives that it's like, man, are these plans right for us? Or do we need to change stuff? And that's kind of what got us thinking, maybe we should change some things. So let's talk through those. Let's start on the outside. Go back to the beginning here. Now, we had said when we designed these, it was for a wide open space of land. So we had no restrictions on size. Whereas now we're kind of up against a hill, up against rocks. We are doing a lot more excavating down. We're up against a power pole, power line, and so we just don't have quite the same space. So our thoughts are, if we have to, as we get into doing the excavation, we might lop off this part of the garage and take off 20 feet. So that is gonna give us pretty much this area here. Our other concern was, well, if we're in this different area of town or different side of town, the shop house or barn dominium look might not be the best for resale. So we said, okay, well, how can we change that? So one of our thoughts is we might take this garage here and shorten it down, make it more like this one to where we have 2 normals and then one like RV looking bay, something like that, which would be a little bit more normal and common, especially in today's world. It seems like there's a lot of houses going up with a RV bay on them. And then we were thinking, instead of doing this little archway here for the entrance, we might just do a little porch like there is off the backside. Let's see, so it'd be down here. It'd be this one right here. We might do that off the front as well, or instead of the backside, depending on how much room we have and how it looks down there once we start excavating. So those are kind of going to be the main changes there. The other thing is, instead of doing metal all the way around like we had planned originally, we might do more of a lap siding on the house portion and do metal on the roof or shingles on the roof. We don't really have a preference there other than installation, whether or not I can do it, save us money, all that stuff. Then if we go back to, or let's see, the back of the house. The back of the house I don't think is really going to change that much, other than maybe this porch will go away. But, and then of course the shop would get cut down. But that is probably going to be about it. We talked about taking this roof pitch here and rotating it 90 degrees to where it would be more like this. But I'm not sure it would look better. So if we did that, this would have to continue over type of thing. We're just trying to think of like what's going to help make it look a little bit more like a normal house than a shop house. Maybe you guys have some ideas. Comment down below if you do. Try and help us out with that. Let's get back to the first floor here for changes. First floor, oh yeah, nothing. We weren't going to change anything on the first floor. That's how much we liked it. We have the playroom. We have the dining room could be a little bit bigger, but we don't really know. We don't want to cut into the playroom to make the dining room bigger. And so I think we're going to leave that. The second floor, though, is where the most changes we think are going to come. And the reason why is because of the potential kid count. And just trying to make sure we have bedrooms for everybody. Then also, we like having, my family's all from out of state, we like having them over and having a space for them at our house and not having to say, oh yeah, come visit us, but you got to stay in a hotel that's 15 minutes away, or you got to pay for it, or it's just an extra cost. that's just not really something we want to do. We love hosting them, and so we wanted to create a space for our kids and then also for the family and friends that come to visit. So what we're thinking now is potentially building the house area out over the first garage bay. So if we have a garage bay here and here, we think we're going to extend this out somewhere in here, like 12 or 14 feet. And then having like something like a hallway down here. So we can put a bedroom here, maybe something like this. There's a door. That's supposed to be a door. This is why we have somebody else draw the plans, because I'd draw it and then it'd be so bad. I'd be building a Cosmos house out there instead of a square plum house. So if we put a bedroom on here, that would be bedroom number 4 upstairs, and then we're thinking doing like a Jack and Jill bathroom or something like this. That's toilet, sink, something like that. Obviously, if it's Jack and Jill, it won't be quite that layout, but it'll be something close, and then doing another bedroom off the backside over here. And then this area here, we wanted some storage for the shop to have. Like right now, we have everything in the blue box out of our other land. And so there's a big shipping container out there, 40-footer, and it's full of junk. And somehow I convinced myself I need all of it, which a lot of it is tools, just extra tools. Some of that will go in the tool trailer as I get that set up. But we wanted some storage out here, and if we put it here, it will kind of fall right over the top of this somehow, if we have like storage here. And then what I can do is build like a little platform here to where I can bring the skid steer in and lift stuff up, and we can have stuff into here, and then we can also do like stairs over the top of this door coming back up into there to where we can get up there through the stairs, or we can lift a bunch of items up at once, and then we'll have stairs up above that we can walk and maybe have like an exterior door here. So this would all technically be part of the garage, whereas the 2 bedrooms, if we have like an exterior door right here, the bedrooms could be part of the house and accessible from the stairway up here. So that would give us a total of 5 bedrooms and 2 baths, or 3 baths upstairs, which would be huge, right? So the main concern there is going to be whether or not we can afford to add on that extra square footage. And we were planning on doing this area regardless, but I was thinking that it was going to fall just over the bathroom and mechanical room originally. I was thinking about just building a roof for that, or a floor system for up above, and then some railing. But we might just make it bigger now for it to work. I don't know. It's a work in progress. All this is a work in progress. It's kind of going to be like fly by the seat of your pants thing now, because we're running out of time and we want to use what we have and not waste it. And we think we can make it work. And at the end of the day, we're supposed to be stewards of money, and so we want to do that. We want to be a good steward of money. And we're also, we want to make things work in life. We want to do good work with our hands. We want to build something that's worth something of value. We want to build things that actually work for their intended purpose. And we also don't want to be house poor, where I'm just working like a dog every day for the rest of my life trying to afford to pay for this. Now, the payment, that is a whole different video we could talk about. Leave me a comment down below if you guys want a whole video on what this is supposed to cost. We've done all the numbers and everything for the bank to get approved, because this is actually going to have to get appraised for the construction loan to pay for it. So might actually do that video for you if you guys want. That would be pretty cool. But now some of you may be thinking, you guys are crazy. You're gonna spend all this money on that, you're gonna build it, you're gonna hate it, it's not gonna work for you, all this stuff, and you may be right. Who knows? All I know is it's at the end of the day, I can make just about anything work for me. I mean, I don't even need this house I'm in right now. It's you know, I've got so much more than I ever thought I'd have, and I could be happy with so much less. And God's just been good to us to bless my wife and I, and to continue to be gracious with us in the things He gives us. And so we're just really looking forward to this next phase of life and this next project. As since we've been married, we've been buying homes and remodeling homes, and kind of just having to live with what we're given, the bones of the house and the mechanical options that they come with. And we're trying to renovate, but there's only so much you can do through renovation. So we're really excited to finally be able to break ground and build something that our minds have come up with and that we are passionate about, and that we feel like we can create a lifestyle for our family and for our kids that we can be proud of, and that they can enjoy, and that we can help them create values that matter to us, to be productive members of society, and to just pursue different passions in their own life. And so there's a whole lot that goes into this that we're really excited for, and you know, only time will tell how it's all going to turn out. And I'm excited to take you guys along for the journey. As I said in the last video, we're going to try and kind of go through the whole process, document all the steps with you guys, and show you all the ins and outs, the little details, the frustrations, the victories and the defeats, and everything in between. And so it's gonna be a whole family affair. You're gonna see my kid or kids out there with me running equipment, carrying boards, doing whatever. My wife is gonna be out there with me at times, trying to build and help save us money, because we're gonna build this all on our own. I think we're gonna have somebody do the concrete, pour and finish the concrete. I'm gonna set all the forms. And outside of that, the gutters. We're gonna have somebody do the gutters and the drywall. I'm not doing the drywall. So those are gonna kind of be the three things that I don't have the experience in, and I don't want them messed up. And the rest of it, even if I'm not 100% sure, it'll be good enough. Yeah, I jokingly like to say good enough for the girl I ride with, not girls. But this time around, though, you know, I've been saying that saying for a long time. All these remodeling projects, you know, this kitchen behind me was one of them. And while I try to do things nice, it's always trying to take what you built and review it and try to do something better. And so this, while I know there's a really good chance that it's not going to be perfect, at the end of the day, I got to be okay with that, because we got to get it done. And we're going to be happy with it either way, and just move forward. Thanks for sticking around, watching the video. Like and subscribe to the channel if you would, and leave me a comment. One, if there's changes that you guys would make to these plans to help in kind of the different things I've talked through. And then two, whether or not you want to see a video of the breakdown of the cost of this build and the land acquisition and all of that. So I could do one of those as well. Gonna have more stuff coming up for you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.